And we are live from the Gotham Sound Expo 2022. We are here with Ken Strand, who's representing K-Tek. Ken, tell us what we got going on, man. It's good to have you here.
Thank you. Well, I'm here today because we're demoing our new 5-section boom pole. So they've had a 6-section classic Mighty pole for, I don't know, probably a year now or a little longer. And based on customer feedback, they found that people wanted to deal with less sections, and a 5-section kind of helps in that regard. So they wanted to show off the new 5-section, and it is really kind of very nice to have 5 sections. And I've been using this pole as a prototype since the beginning of January, and it's amazing. It's so easy to use. And it's not just about 5 sections, it's also like a boom pole system.
Okay.
So that's one of the reasons I love K-Tek and why I use them, is you have so many options for how you want to set your pole up, you know?
Right, so let's dive into some of the accessories then, as far as how you have this currently set up.
Right, so in this configuration right now, I have it without any cable.
Okay, so uncabled.
So this is a very common way that people have it. And so you can turn it into a no cable in about 2 minutes. The other thing on this pole is I have a counterweight. So this is the original Hodge counterweight, and this makes things very comfortable when you're outside booming with a heavier microphone. But I made a request, and Tino made me a half size, which arrived yesterday. So this is a prototype, and this is good for internal use.
Okay.
So when you have a lightweight microphone like this, you can add this very half-size, like quarter-kilogram counterweight.
Okay.
And now you have nice balance. And the goal with a counterweight is just to give you balance, so you don't have to use your muscles, you know? That's what this does. It's all about being comfortable, right?
Very nice. Yeah, you have to boom suitable to yourself.
Exactly. So the way they're being sold here at the store is with the side exit and the internally coiled cable, which is great anytime you're using a transmitter that is heavy, which most of them are. You don't really want to put it up here. It's a lot of weight.
Right.
So in that case, you want to be able to use an internal coil cable and then just put the transmitter on your belt or somewhere else, or maybe even attach it to the base of the pole, you know? However, like I've been day playing a lot, and every sound mixer has a different setup.
Of course.
So I'll contact them and say, what are you using? And they'll say, oh, I'm using a ZMT4, Zaxcom, which weighs nothing. I'm like, cool. I'll strip the cable out the night before. It takes 2 minutes. I don't have to cut it. I don't have to have a separate boom pole. So one boom pole I can use in like 3 different configurations, you know? So if I don't want this, if I want to pull the cable out of this, they have a new, K-Tek designed a new quick release right here, which makes it easy. So first I pull this out. Let's see. It's coming eventually. That's a TA5 connector. Pull that out. Right? This comes out. Undo this. Undo this. Pull this out. Now you have a pole.
Uncabled.
No cable.
Did we get the time on that? Does anyone,
yeah,
anyone
like
time?
how quick was that, right? So those days of like, oh, if you break a cable, you can have a spare cable.
Exactly.
You break a cable, you don't have to send it to the shop and wait a week. You just swap the cable out, the internal coil cable. You know, it just makes life easier.
So what I'm gathering, what you're putting down is flexibility.
Flexibility
is the key word here.
You have the flexibility to modify the boom pole for the job or the shot or whatever.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, let's say it's a rain scene, and you don't really want to run an internal coil cable on a rain scene. You could maybe protect it, but better just to not, and just mount it a transmitter on the front. Or the other option, you can get a straight cable side exit, and you can run a straight cable if you want, because they also sell this with an opening.
Do we have that?
I don't have that here,
fair enough.
But it is an option if you are one of those people that wants a straight cable, and some people do. They have the piece. That's what's cool, is there's so many accessories to K-Tek boom poles that let you choose how you want to configure your boom pole.
So then, did we miss any accessories in terms of, we had touched the side exit.
Yep.
We've got the full weight.
We got the full Hodge counterweight.
And then we have the half weight that you showed us, half kilo.
Half counterweight, which is the
onto your pole there.
So this is a quarter of a kilo, and that's half of a kilo right there. And so this is brand new. I'm trying it out. I think they're going to add it to their product line.
Okay, so not confirmed yet.
Say what?
Not confirmed yet.
Not confirmed
So
yet.
if you think this is a great idea and this is something that you like.
If you think this is cool, I mean, it just makes like a lightweight mic like this. You take this, and now I'm out like this, as comfortable as can be, one hand. And that's just because of this thing. Makes it easy, you know?
And so guys, while we're doing a lot of the demonstrating here, we are live, and so if you have any comments, any questions, anything like that, be sure to put that into the comments below, and we'll read that out a little bit later on during the interview, okay?
Yeah.
And so tell us anything else new that we have going on. I know there's a hip pouch that I think, right?
So
The utility?
yes, so we have different cases too, that they sell. I'm not a bag mixer, so I don't want to pretend like I know all about this.
Sure.
I'm just here representing K-Tek, and you can't have a K-Tek stand without,
Without a K-Tek
some bags.
bag. Okay,
But
so
people
then,
seem very happy with
well,
them.
well then that's fine. We can loop back around. So then, in
Yeah.
terms of the new pole offerings,
Yeah.
we have this size, and then is there another size of it as well?
So there's 18 footer and a 10 footer in this 5-section variation. And then there's 6-section ones. There's like a 20 footer, an 18 footer, and a few other ones.
Right.
6-section's great. I have one too, the 20 footer. When I need that extra reach, I have that pole to go to. So I tend to use that one outside and this one inside.
Okay, yeah,
But this
very
is
well.
so flexible that I've been using this outside a lot because 18 feet is a good length.
It is.
You're pretty much covered. And the collapse length is pretty good. Like a tall guy like me, I got to be a little careful going through doorways to not clip the doorway.
Right.
So I got to do a little duck, when I carry it in. But someone a little shorter than me won't have this issue,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Let's go ahead and take this to questions and see if we have anything.
We
Chris,
are
is
good
there
on
anything,
questions right now.
available
We
for us
are
today?
standing by in case anything pops up.
Cool.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
So, is there anything while we're waiting for some additional questions to pop in? Anything else that you want to touch base over or anything like that?
Yeah, so the 6-section has a fatter diameter, right?
Okay, and this is
Because
new.
they re-engineered all their boom poles. So the 6-section's diameter is a little fatter. I personally love it, and I love the feel of it on the hand. It distributes pressure better than a very narrow, thin boom pole. Because the truth is, you can get a very stiff boom pole and thin, very light by making the sections fatter. Cannondale did this in the 80s with aluminum bicycles. So they figured out, we'll make the sections fatter so that we can make the pole lighter. It actually works well this way. But some people with smaller hands sometimes have an issue with the size of it, or they don't feel like it's that comfortable. This pole has a slightly smaller
So that solves it with
width.
it. Okay.
So if you're one of those people that feels like the 6-section is too fat, this is a good compromise. It's split between the old diameter and the 6-section wide diameter.
Could you speak to the comparison of the classic poles, maybe? So maybe someone with a classic pole wanting to upgrade into this newer series in terms of diameter and things
right,
like that.
so you're not going to feel much of a difference going to the 5-section from the old poles.
Okay.
If you want to upgrade from the old pole, all this stuff works smoother and better. All the collars are smoother. They re-engineered the collars. You can just tell when you use it. The collars feel really nice. But the number one reason to do it is this quick release on top. Like having this, and it's solid, it works because I used an iteration that wasn't quite as solid.
Okay.
And they've engineered it and improved it, and now it's solid as can be. And having that flexibility of pulling this off and changing your configuration, and just swapping a broken cable or whatever.
Yeah, no, that makes it super quick on set. You don't have time to waste. So being able to have that functionality and adaptability.
The poles, certainly boom poles, are very basically simple objects, but I think K-Tek's taken it to like a level of like flexibility and use. So many different sizes, so many different options. It's really like kind of to me like the only game in town as far as like having a complete package. I call it boom pole system.
Excellent.
Which has never in my mind been done before is a boom pole system. It's just boom poles.
Complete, every option that you would need, essentially.
And I'm a boom operator for 30 years. I'm obsessed with making things better, and I feel like K-Tek's like a perfect counterpart because they listen to me as well.
Right.
And they take my feedback and suggestions and they make improvements like this half-size counterweight, because I like the counterweight so much, but it's a bit of a pig. It's a bit of a pig inside.
And we are live.
We're live right on a little thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Put that question in the chat. Hopefully we'll get that later.
Hold that question.
But
we are good right now.
Chris, do we have questions in the chat?
Let's take a look at that cool boom holder. The boom holder that you have, Ken.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So we are. Ken,
he wants to look at this.
Yeah. Tell us about this this boom pole holder you have, man. I know you got some custom dimensions. Let's start with that.
Yeah. So this thing is basically custom. A friend of mine in LA was making a very simple version of this, and then I had all these ideas, and I said, man, we could do so much with this. So I created this size. These kickouts, they come out on windy days, throw a sandbag on, and the center of gravity of this is very low. So with 2 water bottles, you know, with a counterweight, you get a low center of gravity, very, very stable and easy to travel with. It packs into a suitcase and you can put all your stuff around it, unlike an Apple box or a box type thing. A box takes up all the space. This takes up very little space. Believe it or not, this thing's only 12 pounds.
12 pounds? Okay.
I measured it.
And then height, do you have the...
The height is about 20, I think it's 23 inches.
Okay. Yeah, that's spot on.
I designed the height to be so that when you're in a low ceiling room, so I wanted to minimize the height. A lot of Apple boxes are very tall, these custom ones. But when you get in low ceilings, then you're stuck trying to rotate the whole thing out.
Yeah, I know that.
This is kind of like the minimum height you can get away with for stability, and yet work in a low
give you that ergonomics
room,
to get out.
right?
Yeah.
To get it out.
Tell me about the feet. Do they swing out or do they slide? How is this functioning?
They swing out. So
okay.
Like that.
This is hip. This is very hip. So this is just a 3-legged design.
Yep. 3 legs.
And these are about
just
a little under a foot.
So now this adds to the stability on windy days. Anytime you're in windy days, or if you're working in a very uneven surface, like really uneven surface, and this won't want to stand up on an uneven surface, then you take a shot bag, a 15, 20-pound shot bag, throw it on it in the opposite direction, or in the direction the wind's coming this way, you throw it in the same side, no problems.
We do a circle shot here. We spin it.
I know people.
This is great, man. This is super tidy. You need utilitarian things like this
to throw stuff in, you know. And I'm sorry it's dirty because I didn't really come here to talk about it.
Yeah, no, this is real world stuff though. So it absolutely, you can see the use case.
It's made of billet aluminum. It doesn't rust. Rain, snow, whatever, sand at the beach.
And then this is
I just added a pad to it because when I moved to New York, the aluminum will get so cold I couldn't sit on it anymore, so I had to add a pad to it.
Some comfort for the.
I put a little sticker on it so people can move it without bothering me.
Right there you go.
And then if you're in the beach or working in sand, the coolest thing, and this is better than a box, is that you can bury the whole bottom in the sand, and it locks it in. So it's a windy day at the beach or whatever, it's not going anywhere. And then when you're ready to move, you just pick it up, and all the sand just falls right off. So it's like having a giant sandbag using the beach as the sandbag. You know?
So if I'm on the internet watching this video, am I reaching out to you to see if I'm curious about this design?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of. I found that coming to New York with this stand, I've got so many people are like, whoa, tripping on my stand because everyone's uses boxes, and I've got this really tight thing. It fits in anywhere. Like that's the beauty of it. Is I can hide it in a cramped set. And in New York, we're all cramped sets, right? So the cool thing about this is it is so unobtrusive. I could just jam it in underneath, between 2 doors, whatever, and it's like doesn't get in anybody's way. And yet the center of gravity on it is so low that it's very stable.
Yeah, it looks incredibly robust. That's the way I would say it.
It's a good companion to my the boom poles that I use.
So if someone reaches out to you, is there a link?
I don't have a link, but people can reach out to me on Facebook, Instagram, whatever.
So
and
this
I
is
respond.
obtainable.
Pardon?
This is obtainable to some degree.
I need to double check on that.
Okay,
because
all right.
the guy that made it, he's from a long time ago.
All right, we'll have to confirm.
But if I've got interest, I'll find a way to make more.
Okay.
And not cheap. So it's something that the utility of this is so great that I won't go anywhere without it.
Yeah.
Including here. I came to this thing and I'm like, no, I'm bringing it here too. I won't do a half-hour job without it. It's so useful. It's so easy, and it's safe for the boom pole. It's like you always want your boom pole to be safe.
Do you have any cushion on the inside in terms of protection? So
What
is this
I
all
have-
still?
What I have is
okay, I
a
feel the
liner.
padding there. Yeah.
So all that is just like the loop side of Velcro. Because it sticks really well.
Okay.
So I use that, and on the inside it's bare metal, because there is this already there.
With the rubber stop on there. So then my last question for this would be,
I put a little rubber on the bottom, a rubberized bottom, so I don't have to worry when people are like, oh, these wood floors. I'm like, well, it's rubberized.
we're good. Would there be, I guess, an option to perhaps do this in a different design for the cutout to accommodate different plug-ons, things of that nature?
So that's what my version 2 is, and I did work on a prototype because when I designed this, there was no plug-ons people weren't putting plug-ons on the side. So I do plan on making a new version of this with some improvements, including a wider column.
Okay, yeah.
So that you could put a plug-on on the side at the base and put it in here safely.
Absolutely.
So that's the goal of my version 2.
Okay, yeah, that would be super utilitarian.
And having a matte black color, and just like bling it out a little bit more. But it's pretty good. I mean,
this is a great
for something
setup.
I made in 2004. It's still an incredibly useful tool. It's a tool. It's not just a boom holder.
And that's what we need. Great tools to do the job.
Yeah, it's like I've got these little hooks. I hang tape. Like, I'm not sure where it is. I actually walked in here with tape, so I don't know where it went. But
well, that's all right. We'll have to find that later.
Yeah, but these hooks give you the ability to hang cables, tape,
headphones,
all kinds of stuff,
Well, excellent. We appreciate this, Ken. This is a super utilitarian cart, or boom pole holder.
Yep.
Unless you have a specific name for it, but we'll follow up. Boom stand. There we go.
Yeah.
So if you guys have any
yes,
questions,
we actually have one from
reach out
Andrew
to us.
William Hewlett asking, what is currently available with the new design versus what is forthcoming? As a follow-up, will the quick release be able to go on an older classic boom pole?
Okay, I am not sure if the quick release can go on an older classic, but maybe because this little piece right here is just a section. So I think that K-Tek's going to offer the ability to upgrade the older ones with this section, which is what's required, is this final section.
Okay, yeah, that's a great question.
I will actually put that question to Tino when I talk to him next. And I'll find out if this is something, because this is a section that just goes on the boom pole, which provides the quick release.
Okay.
And that other question, what's in the pipeline basically, or what?
Yeah, anything forthcoming in terms of products?
Well, hopefully this little mini counterweight, But I think the 5 section is really their next big product, which is the Mighty Boom, well, 5 sections,
Right.
They got their bread and butter going right now. Probably going to have more sizes of the 5 section.
Okay.
Right now, I think there's only 2 sizes, 10 feet and 18 feet.
Okay. So there you go. Well, perhaps some additional smaller sizes for that.
No further questions.
5 section pole. Do we have any further questions, Chris? All right, excellent.
Cool.
Well, thanks you guys for joining us,
Awesome.
Ken. Thank you for walking us through this, man. Thank you for showing us your lovely boom stand.
Thank you. Yeah,
and
my
we'll
pleasure.
be back further with more interviews. We'll see you soon.